Hari Hari, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Could you turn it a little louder, the volume? Gauranga, Gauranga, Hari Hari, Gauranga, Hari Bol. Yeah, that's better. Jai. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari. Okay. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Nityanandam Namastubhyam Prem Ananda Pradayane Kalo Kalamashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha Ajanulambita Bhujo Kanakavadato Samkirtanaika Pitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishvambaro Dvijavaro Yuga Dharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Sruto Pangor Mama Manda Mater Gati Mat Sarvasva Padam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpa Drumadha Srimad Ratanagara Singhashanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshta Libhi Sevyamano Smarami Shiman Rasarasaramhi Vamshivata Tatakstitaha Karshana Venu Swanayir Gopir Gopinata Shriyestunaha Bhaktya Vihina Aparadha Lakshay Kshiptascha Kamadi Taranga Madhye Kripa Mayitvam Sharanam Prapanna Brinde Numaste Charanarvindam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Asto Tarasata, Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I'm offering my Dandavat Pranams to the lotus feet of all of my Sri Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, especially to Sri Sri Raghunath Das Goswami Pad, our Prayojan Tattva Acharya, and the author of Sri Vilapa-kusumanjali, a bouquet of woeful entreaties. And my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavis. So, we're on verse 18. We got about, I don't know, one half of the way through. Not quite. 1/3 of the way through the purport. Yes. So I'm reading that verse again. Verse 18 of Sri Vilapa-kusumanjali. Pranalim kilakair bahubir abhisang sankshalya madhurair muda sammarja swair vivrita kacha vrindai priyataya kada bahyagaram vara parimalair dupa nivahair Vidasya te devi prati dinamaho vasitam aham. O Devi, when, with great love and happiness, will I daily rinse the drains of your house with pure water, dry them with my own hair, and then scent your garden pavilion with an abundance of sweetly fragrant incense. You can repeat. Pranalim, kilakair, kilalayar, bahubir, abhishankshalya, madurair, muda, sammarja, swair, vivrita, kacha, vrindai, priyataya, kada, bahyagaram, vara, parimalayar, dhupa, nivahayar, vidasye, Te Devi Pratidinam Aho Vasitam Aham. So this is question. This verse is a question. A lot of the verses are, because it has a question mark at the end of the Sanskrit. Usually you don't see that in the Sanskrit, but they put it there. But what is the question? When? For every verse, the question is, when? So you can repeat, O Devi, when with great love and happiness will I daily rinse the drains of your house with pure water, dry them with my own hair, and then scent your garden pavilion with an abundance of sweetly fragrant incense. So, we are hearing about Raghunath Das Goswami's meditation at Srimati Radhika's house in Yavat. Yes. And we heard about the conflicting nature of love and how, as they are trying to bring Srimati Radhika, that yes, they had returned with Radhika and the Lalita, Vishaka, the Manjaris, Rupa Manjari, and also Tulsi Manjari. They had returned from Sanket Kunja, and they were going to bring Srimati Radhika to her house. So on the way, Srimati Radhika told the Manjaris, "Where are you taking me?" And they said, "We are taking you to your abode." "Where are you taking me?" "My abode is with Krishna. From there, you are taking me to a blind well, where so many serpents, scorpions, and poisonous insects dwell. They will bite me, and I will have to tolerate this. Why are you taking me there?" Because she was with Krishna in the Kunja. And there, we're taking you to your abode. My abode? My abode is only with Krishna. So then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is describing that wherever there is prem in Vrindavan, then all the different natural characteristics of Vrindavan become reversed. Like?
River flowing backwards.
Yes.
The wind going the opposite way.
Yes. So, what moves one way generally takes the different direction. And when someone is very happy, they will weep. That's the opposite. And when they are weeping, they will laugh. It's also the opposite. When Krishna desires them, they will go away. And when Krishna does not desire, they will come. Everything becomes opposite. It is very strange, Gurudev says. So, even though the Sakhis always desire to make Srimati Radhika happy, but in this case, they did not do so. Why? In a mood of separation, Srimati Radhika is weeping bitterly. She is weeping and weeping in the pangs of intense separation, as if many serpents have bit her. Sometimes she faints in separation, and then she is able to sleep for some time, free of the pains of separation. But the Sakhis do not desire her to faint, so they give her some cool water to revive her. they desire her to come back to consciousness. But there she will weep and lament and feel all the effects of the poison of separation. So, why do they desire this? That's the question. They should please Radhika by letting her rest and avoid the pain of separation, but they don't desire this. They don't desire this. They want her to be awake. But when she is conscious, she will weep. At the same time, the Sakhis do not desire her to feel any pain, so it is a very strange circumstance. Srimati Radhika said, "Where are you taking me? Perhaps you are taking me to a blind well, full of serpents and scorpions. My mother-in-law is what? A serpent. She is a very black snake, a Nagini, female snake. And my sister-in-law, she is what? A young female snake. They are always biting me. And my husband, he is so cruel. He is always trying to keep me in that black well. And you are taking me there. Oh, where am I going?" She is walking, but she does not know, where am I going? Just imagine that. Srimati Radhika. So completely spellbound and praying, and she doesn't know where they're taking her. Then, anyhow, she returned to Yavat. And then at once she fainted in her room. And the Sakhis were serving her in all respects. After that, they saw that she was sleeping, and they became happy to see this. They then collected pure water from the Yamuna in gold pots, and there they mixed different fragrances. Oh, they prepared fragrance-scented oils to massage her. They arranged beautiful ornaments and cloth that had been sent by Mother Yashoda on the head of... Mother Yashoda sent those cloths on the head of who? Who carried those cloths from Nandagaon to Yavat?
I guess Krishna.
Who? No, why would she carry? This is a huge amount in a box, and he carried it on his head. No, who was carrying the box? Who was carrying the box? Abhimanyu, yes. Without knowing, there's also that pastime where Krishna's in the box that Abhimanyu was carrying. So there's a lot of pastimes of things coming from Mother Yashoda. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ji. Yes, so, and then they arranged beautiful ornaments and cloth that had been sent by Mother Yashoda on the head of Abhimanyu. They began to prepare the cloth and ornaments for Radhika to wear. In the meantime, Radhika's grandmother, named, you just said it before, Mukkara, not Mukkara, Mukkara. Yes, Mukkara. So in the meantime, Mukkara, Radhika's grandmother, arrived in Yavat, and she called out. It's a little bit strange how they've printed it here, but anyway, I'm pretty sure that it is the word nati. Yeah, okay. It's only because the way that this font is, and it's in italics, and it has the I with the dot, and then it has a exclamation mark with a dot below it, and together it just looks very strange. So Mukara called out in Yavat, "O Nati, granddaughter, where are you?" Then seeing the Sakhi surrounding Radhika, who was sleeping in her bed, then Mukara said, "Why is she sleeping now? Is this any time to be sleeping? The sun has risen upon the horizon, yet Radhika is still sleeping?" That probably happens pretty often. Because Mukara always comes at that time in the morning. And Radhika's always coming in just before the sunrise, from being up all night with Krishna and the gopis. So then she approached Radhika's bed and she caught hold of her. She began to gently shake her, saying, oh Nati, get up, get up. The sun has risen. Today is Sunday, so you will have to worship the sun. Oh, dear darling daughter, get up. Your husband will quickly come back from milking the cows with so many pots full of milk. So you should get up and clean the house and be ready after bathing before your husband returns. So now the next section is titled, The Sakhis Trick Radhika's Grandmother Mukara. What's her name? Yes.
How is she related? I mean, with this Abhimanyu's family?
Not sure. Yeah, not sure. It could be. I can't see how she would be Abhimanyu's. Maybe. We should find that out. So now, suddenly Mukara saw that the veil of Srimati Radhika was what color? Yellow. Yellow color? Who wears a yellow color? Yes. Pitambara. Pitambara is yellow, golden. And then Mukara saw that the veil of Srimati Radhika was yellow because that was Krishna's veil. So she looked at it very intently and then said to Lalita and Vishaka, before I saw the son Krishna. Then Vishaka said, you have become very old, Mukara. Your eyes are defective now. Can't you see that the sun has risen and its rays are entering the room so that you are seeing the yellow color of the sun reflected on Radha's blue shawl? And you are thinking that she is also like you, as you were in your youth. Ooh. Then Vishaka pointed to the window in Radhika's room where the sun rays were streaming through, and she said, just see, look at the yellow rays of the sun entering the room. And as Mukara looked in that direction, Vishaka was pointing in that very instant. Lalita switched the yellow chadar of Krishna with that Radha was wearing for Radha's own blue shawl, like that. Then Vishaka closed the curtains and said to Mukara, look, just see. Now that the sun rays are not entering the room, Radha's shawl is blue, as normal. You were mistaken. Then Mukara became shy. And then she went with Jatila and Kutila to make cow dung patties. Must be on their side that she's the mother on that side. I couldn't imagine that from either Yashoda's side or Vrishabhanu Maharaj or Kirtidas Sundari, that she would be hanging out there. Anyway, let's find that out. Confirm that. Yes. Then Mukara became shy and went with Jatila and Kutila to make what? Cow dung patties. Have you ever made a cow dung patty?
Yes.
Yeah, because you lived with cows a lot. Huh? Anybody else here in this room has made a cow dung patty? You did? How many did you make?
I only like 2.
Only 2.
Yeah.
Just to see if you can qualify someday in the future for living in Braj, huh?
Yeah, this time
Just
when I
to-
was there,
Did
we
you
were
put it on the
kind
wall?
of no, I would just like grab it and try it. It was a little wet. Like I
Yeah, it has to be a little wet.
Yeah.
I've seen the hundreds and hundreds of times the Vrajavasis making the cow dung patties, but I don't think I've actually ever done. Maybe I did, but I just forgot.
They do it in Navadvip also.
I know.
Yes.
Well, yeah. All over India. This is all over India. It's not just in the dams. Everywhere in India, agricultural, cows, cow dung patties. Cooking with cow dung patties. Yes. That's the system. Yes. Okay, so now, so then Mukara became shy and went with Jatila and Kutila to make cow dung patties. Then after a few minutes, Mukara went to Nanda Bhavan and saw Krishna with Yogamaya Purnamasi, Yashoda, and Ambika Ma. Maybe she is. Anyway, we got to find out this mystery of Mukara. The mystery of Mukara. All right, so but then after she went with them to make the cow dung patties, then after a few minutes she went to Nanda Bhavan and she saw Krishna with Yogamaya Purnamasi, Yashoda, and Ambika Ma. And in the meantime, in Yavat, then Shamala came and discussed many rasala topics from the previous night's engagements with Krishna. And after Shamala also left, the Sakis and Manjaris began to clean Radhika's room and house. Now, the sadhak, who is practicing Raganuga Bhakti, should serve Srimati Radhika in every way. From cleaning her room, outside her house, all the drains, everything. They will serve throughout the day, sweeping, decorating the rooms, making everything neat and clean, preparing the ornaments and cloth, preparing the bath for Srimati Radhika, and then what ornaments will be given, and so forth. Everything is prepared in order. So when Radhika is prepared to take her bath, at that time, Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, and the other Manjaris are there serving. Raghunath entered Antardasha at that time, and he witnessed this seva. Then Rupa Manjari told her, "You should clean the drains." Then Rati began to clean the drains with great care. She used a large amount of water to clean everything very nicely, and then she used her hair to clean the drains and scented them with various perfumes. She then brought many golden pots of water to bathe Radhika. She brought a small seat for Radhika to sit on for her bath, and then placed a thin white cloth on it. She then dressed Radhika in a thin silken cloth for her bath. Rati then made sure all the gaps were closed so no one could see in Radhika's bathing room. The Manjaris gave Radhika a very thin, transparent cloth. They then began to massage Radhika with fragrant oils, as well as turmeric paste, kumkum, and other items. And under the guidance of Lalita and Vishaka, the Manjaris were gathered with the desire to bathe Radhika. So, yes, who was bathing Radhika? Also Lalita and Vishaka. They're giving the guidance to the Manjaris, because the Manjaris also had the desire to bathe Radhika. So at that time, when Tulsi or Rati Manjari went forward to bathe Radhika with a pitcher of water, then suddenly the scene
disappeared.
Yeah. Suddenly the scene disappeared, just as she was about to do what? To take the pitcher of water and bathe Radhika. Suddenly the scene disappeared. Raghunath again began to do what? Weep. How? How weeping? Bitterly. Bitterly weeping. And one other thing, which he does every single time. Weeping bitterly and what? Rolling on the bank of Radhakunda. Again and again and again. So once he became somewhat pacified from this state, then he prayed as follows. When will that day come that Lalita, Vishaka, and Rupa will order me to clean the drains of Srimati Radhika, and I will bring water in golden pots to wash the drains. And then I will dry the drains with my hair. O Lalite, O Vishake, O Krishna, O Srimati Radhike, you are my Swamini. Please have mercy on me. When will that day come that I will perform these menial services to you? And I will feel so happy at the chance to perform these services. Praying thus, Raghunath again began to weep. This is the essence of this verse. The sadhak should reflect upon how Rupa, Rati, and the other manjaris are doing their services to Srimati Radhika. What should the sadhak do? In the future, we hope to become such a sadhak. And at that time, what will we be doing? Reflecting upon what?
The services of
Rupa, Rati, and the other manjaris. How they are doing these services to Srimati Radhika. Gradually, greed will develop. Then, in due course, the Siddhadeha will be achieved. What will happen? In course of time, what will happen?
Greed will develop.
Yes.
Siddhadeha will know.
Then in due course, through that greed and sadhana, the Siddhadeha will be achieved. As a sadhak, one prays in the following way. When will that day come that I will serve Srimati Radhika in Braj? O Srimati Radhika, when will you give me your mercy? So that's the verse purport. I'm reading that verse one more time, then we'll go to the next verse. That was verse 18. Pranalim kila lair bahubir abhisankyalya madurair. Muda sammarja svair vivrita kacha vrindai priyataya. Kada bahyagaram vara parimalayar dupa nivahayar vidasye te devi pratidinam aho vasitam aham. O Devi, when with great love and happiness will I daily rinse the drains of your house with pure water, dry them with my own hair, and then scent your garden pavilion with an abundance of sweetly fragrant incense. I remember the first time when I read the rough manuscript that we had of this. Yes. And I remember reading this verse because it stuck out to me that, Raghunath Das Goswami in his Manjari form is praying to clean the drains of Srimati Radhika's bathing room and then dry them with his hair, with her hair. And I thought, how intimate. How? What? Because when we think of drains, we think of these disgusting material bodies, right? And all of that. But this is the nectar flow from Mahabhav Swarupini Srimati Radhika. Can you imagine? And that the worship of everything connected to her seva. Using her own hair to dry those drains. So beautiful. So utterly beautiful. Then, now, yes. Now we're going to verse 19. Pratak sudamshu militam mridam atya yatnad ahritya vasita payascha grihantarecha padambuje bhattakada jaladharayate prakshalya bhavani kachayar iha marjayami pratak sudamsu militam mridam atrayatnad ahritya vasita payascha grihantare cha padam buje batakada jaladarayate prakshalya bhavani kachayar ihamarjayami. O Bhavani, when at your house early in the morning will I carefully wash your 2 lotus feet with soft clay and camphor-scented water, and then dry them with my hair. I can repeat. Pratak sudamshu militam mridam atra yatnad ahritya vasita payash cha grihantare cha padambuje batakada jala darayate prakshalya bhavani kachayar iha marjayami. You know this word, marjayami? Can you know what it means? Yes. What verse of the Gurvastikam do we sing that has that in it? Shri Vigraha Shringara Mandira Marjanado. So Marjana means cleaning. Marjayami means I will clean. Kada. So, can repeat, O Bhavani, when at your house, early in the morning, will I carefully wash your 2 lotus feet with soft clay and camphor-scented water, and then dry them with my hair. Srila Gurudev's commentary. Krishna wakes in Nanda Bhavan and Radhika wakes in Yavat. That's the theme of this section. Sudamsu Militam means in the morning. Sudamsu Militam, in the morning. In the morning I will prepare soft, fine soil mixed with camphor. I will collect these things along with pure water mixed with camphor. In the winter season, the water is warm or hot, and in the summer season, the water is cool. I will collect the water and wait for when you awake from your sleep. As you awake, I will wash your hands and feet with the fine soil and water. I will dry your hands and feet by my hair. Now, we will explain in the previous verse, Srila Das Goswami, he was remembering the morning pastimes of Srimati Radhika and Krishna. Here, he is remembering the pastime how Srimati Radhika has returned from Seva Kunj or Sanket Kunj, and she has slept on her bed. Krishna also returned home to Nanda Bhavan and is sleeping on his bed. So Raghunath witnesses this Leela as a spurti. He remembers that Krishna has slept in his bed. A reddish sun is rising on the eastern horizon and is distributing his rays upon the earth. Yashoda Mata was churning yogurt into butter. She saw, Krishna, my baby, has not yet wakened. She left the churning and she went to check on Krishna. In the meantime, Purnamasi arrived and she asked, I want to see what your Lala is doing. Then Mukara then arrived from Srimati Radhika's house, and she also wanted to see Krishna. Ambika, Krishna's nurse, also came to Yashoda. So in a group together, they went to see Krishna. Purnamasi would daily come to Nanda Bhavan and give blessings to Krishna. And in this way, she used to come to see Krishna. Mukara, Radhika's grandmother, is the Datri of Yashoda. Here we go, we're getting the answer. Mukara, Radhika's grandmother, is the Datri of Yashoda, meaning that when Yashoda was a baby, Mukara used to breastfeed her. You got that? Or confused?
So she's like the great?
No, I don't think so. No, I'm reading this again. So Mukara is Radhika's grandmother. So being Radhika's grandmother means that she has to be either the mother of Nanda Maharaj, of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, or of Kirtidas Sundari, right? Otherwise, how she can be the grandmother? So, being the grandmother of both of them, one of them, right? One of them. So, but Mukara, Radhika's grandmother, is the Datri of Yashoda, meaning when Yashoda was a baby, Mukara used to breastfeed her. Mukara is the close friend of Yashoda's mother. Thus, she would regularly come to see Krishna. So she's a friend of Yashoda's mother, right? She's a close friend of Yashoda's mother. and thus she would regularly come to see Krishna. Now Ambika would give milk to Krishna, so she also came to see him. She's also a Datri, but she directly feeds Krishna. Ambika. So these four went in a group to where Krishna was sleeping. Rati Manjari heard this story in the house of Srimati Radhika from the Saki Madhurika, who came from Nanda Bhavan to Yavat, where Rati Manjari, Rupa Manjari, Lalita and Vishaka were preparing to bathe and dress Srimati Radhika. They heard this pastime along with Srimati Radhika. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Ji Ki Jai. So what's going on? What is being described here? How these four personalities came to Nanda Bhavan, Yashoda Mata's house, and all four of them came to see who? They came to see Krishna, right? Now Rati Manjari is hearing about this from who? Madhurika, who just now came from Nanda Bhavan to Yavat. And she's arriving there just at the time when Lalita, Vishaka were preparing to bathe and dress Srimati Radhika. And they heard this pastime along with Srimati Radhika. These four personalities entered Krishna's room. Yashoda first gave a little water to Krishna's face, little water, and then wiped it with her veil. And Purnima, that's Purnamasi, because sometimes Gurudev just calls her Purnima. So Purnima began to chant the Mangala Charana and other verses to please Krishna. Mukara was also there, having darshan, and was blessing Krishna, and Ambika was very pleased as well. Krishna came out of his bed and did his pranam to everyone. He washed his hands and feet, and then he went with his friends to milk the cows. First activity of the day. Wash his hands and feet, milk the cows. So as this had been going on, Radhika was still resting in her bed, and Tulsi Manjari had collected water scented with rose petals, a guru, and other fragrances, and was carefully cleaning the whole house, the courtyard, and the drains with it. And with a bunch of her hair, she dried the drains. Raghunath now sees how Mukara comes to Yavat. She loves Radhika just as much as her mother Kirtida. Wait a minute now. Okay. So Raghunath now sees how Mukara comes to Yavat. Mukara comes. And she, Mukara, loves Radhika just as much as her mother, Kirtida. Okay. So, Kirtida doesn't come daily to see Radhika, but Mukara daily comes to see Radhika. Mukara saw that Lalita, Vishaka, Chitra, and the other Sakis and Manjaris are waiting for Radhika to awake. Mukara called Jatila Devi, and together they went there. Jatila was somewhat behind Mukara. Mukara asked Jatila, "Today is Sunday, and the most auspicious day to worship the sun, but I see my granddaughter is still sleeping. Have you not given her any lesson that she should wake early? I have walked all the way from Varshana, and before that I made cow dung patties and did other chores, but still she is sleeping?" Mukara entered Radha's room Jatila, she cannot directly enter Radha's room. Mukura can, but Jatila cannot. I wonder why. Let's find out. Jatila cannot directly enter Radha's room. She is more shy as the mother-in-law. See? So there's a certain relationship there. She has some reservation, but Mukura will not wait. Mukura has been with Radhika from her infancy, when she was just a naked baby even. She would protect and even nurse Srimati Radhika. She therefore has no shyness before Radhika. Mukura began to call, "O Radhe, O Radhe!" And hearing this sound, Srimati Radhika stretched and yawned. Then she answered, "O grandmother, I am here." "You are still sleeping. Don't you know it is Sunday? Quickly rise." Mukura says, there's a mistake. Mukura saw Radhika's face and became astonished, saying, "Where did this yellow cloth come from?" Now Gurudev is going over that pastime, but in more detail. So she turned to Lalita and Vishaka, Mukura did, and she silently said with her eyes, "What is this? What will people tell? Tell me, oh, your granddaughter is like this." Mukura said, "What am I seeing? It is very wonderful. Yesterday evening, I saw that Krishna was wearing a yellow pitambara around his neck, and now I see that same pitambara on Radhika. Why?" She is an old lady, but she knows everything. She has gone through this age. She was confused whether it was Krishna's or not. She thought, how did that same pitambara come on Srimati Radhika's body? Then Vishaka and Lalita heard Mukura's statement. They knew it was Krishna's pitambara, but they had not given attention to it. In the rush to return to Yavat with Radhika from the Kunja, they had not given attention to it. So Vishaka and Lalita, they knew this, but they didn't give much attention to it because they were in a rush to bring Radhika to Yavat. So Vishaka acted quickly. She said, "You are an old lady, thus your intelligence has become frail, and your eyesight is now very weak." As Vishaka distracted Mukura, Lalita switched Radhika's shawl from Krishna's pitambara to Radha's own nilambara. Pitambara, nilambara. Then Vishaka told Mukura, "Just see, is it the pitambara or nilambara?" So the Vishaka tells Mukura, "Oh Mukura, look now, is it a pitambara or nilambara?" Then Mukura saw the blue shawl of Radhika and thought, "Oh, certainly my eyesight has failed me in old age." And then she said, "I have made a mistake." Lalita, Vishaka, and Chitra then made a show that they were very angry. And Mukura replied, No, I have not stated anything. Anyhow, I am just going." Thus, Mukura left Radhika's room. Yes. Thus, Mukura left Radhika's room, and the Sakhis laughed in merriment. Srimati Radhika began to gently smile. She then stood up, and Rati Manjari was there, and after receiving Radhika's blessings, she then went to see Krishna. In the meantime, Shamala or Sham Saki came, and they had a very rasa-filled talk about how the night passed. Srimati Radhika said, to who? To Shamala or Shama Saki. So Srimati Radhika said, I have planted a seed, and now it has sprouted, and it has become a big tree with so many branches and leaves. They came on the tree. My Sakis used to punctually take care of the tree. The tree grew up quite nicely with many leaves, but still up to now has not produced any fruit. No fruit. The tree is increasing and increasing, but it still has no fruit. Today is a good morning because I have met you. You are my Pran Saki. I think that our meeting may bring a good morning again. This is my hope. But when that fruit comes, then it will really be a good morning. The meeting will be successful when the fruit comes. So who is Radhika saying this to?
Shamala.
Yes. Now Shamala replies to this. This fruit is so strange and wonderful. It has the nature that anyone who daily tastes this fruit still says, I have not seen any fruit. This is your case. You are always tasting the fruit. And so many fruits have come. Your body has been your body has been painted by the juice of that fruit. But still you are saying you have not seen any fruit. So, I think we don't understand what is being talked about, do we? No, we don't. So now, Gurudev goes on. So many more things were spoken, but I am not going into them in detail. Madhurika then came and explained about Krishna's whereabouts. And after speaking with Radhika, Madhurika and Shamala went to their own places. Then Rati Manjari said to Rupa, I have collected scented fine soil and water, and I am ready to wash Srimati's feet and hands, and I have prepared her bath. She was about to begin this, and yet, as she was about to touch the hands of Srimati Radhika, the scene of the pastime disappeared. As what was happening at that moment? She had collected what?
Soil and camphor.
Very fine soil. And also water, pure water, and mixed these both with camphor. Now she was about to apply on the hands of Srimati Radhika this soil and camphor. And then, as she was about to touch the hands of Srimati Radhika, the scene of the pastime disappeared. Raghunath closed his eyes. He saw nothing. He began to weep. O Devi, O Radhike, O Bhavani. Bhavani has a special meaning. Bhavani means that she has Mahabhav towards Krishna. That's what the name Bhavani means. That she has Mahabhav towards Krishna. And within Mahabhav, the states of Rudha and Adi Rudha. So Radhika at this time was in Mohan Bhav because she was separated from Krishna. Srimati Radhika is Bhavani, repenting and longing after Krishna. She said, O Saki, why have you brought me here? I was so happy with Krishna, and yet forcibly you have brought me here. If I faint, it is good for me, then I will forget everything. But you then bring me back to my senses with water and so forth. When I am aware, then I feel so much pain and lamentation, and when I faint at that time, I forget everything and I am peaceful. Do you not want to see me in a happy mood? Why did you wake me? Radhika wept and lamented so much at that time in separation. This Dasi is now thinking in a similar way. My Swami is in that mood, but yet Lalita and Vishaka are trying to please Srimati Radhika and to make her forget everything and to prepare her to take bath. Now Raghunath is rolling on the bank of Radha Kunda, lamenting and saying, O Srimati Radhika, be pleased with me. May I have the chance to serve you even in a dream. So, with clay mixed with camphor, and then with fragrant water, Raghunath prays to bathe Srimati Radhika. He prays, O Bhavani, may I serve you even in a dream. You are Bhavani, you are full of moods for Krishna. Krishna Bhavana, especially at that time when you are separated from Krishna in the morning in Yavat, I desire to serve you there. Yes. So, now the next section is titled The Charana's Speciality. Charana. What is Charana? Lotus feet. Charan. The Charana's speciality. Padam Bhuje. Gurudev is telling this word. Padam Bhuje, which means what? Lotus. Pada. Pada Ambuja. Ambuja means lotus and Pada means feet. So Padam Bhuje. Why isn't he mentioning, Raghunath Das Goswami in his prayer, why isn't he mentioning the face or another part of the body? At the time of sadhan, the sadhak is so humble with the desire to be a particle of dust at the feet of Swami. The feet have a special attribute. The body is dependent on the feet, and therefore the feet are called charana. What is the meaning of charan? That which moves the whole body as well as itself. That is the charana. That which moves the whole body as well as itself. That is the charana. The feet carry the weight of the whole body as well as themselves. Here it is said, Charana Padam Bhuja. If you want to serve someone, the feet are the root of the whole body. So if you worship the feet, then the whole body is worshipped. It is also indicates that I am like a particle of dust at your lotus feet. Do we see that in the Sikshastakam prayers? Lord Chaitanya's Sikshastakam prayer? Do we see Lord Chaitanya praying in that way? Which verse?
5?
Huh?
Is it 5?
Yeah. Can you tell?
Krishna, I'm an eternal servant, and somehow or other I've fallen into this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
Yeah. What's the Sanskrit for that? Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddho Kripaya Nija Pada Pankaja Stita Dhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. Particle, dust, Dhuli. Stita Dhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. Please place me as a tiny particle at your lotus feet. So Gurudev is saying that this is indicating when one worships the lotus feet, this indicates that I am like a particle of dust at your lotus feet. This mood should come in service. That is why in the Srimad Bhagavatam or in any scripture like the books of the Goswamis, we see much speciality given to the feet. Do we not? Everywhere. So much speciality being given to the feet. Brahma. Who is Brahma? He is our Guru, right? We're in the Brahma Sampradaya. Brahma is our Guru. He is also a Bhakta of Krishna, in the mood of Dasya, in the mood of servitude, Lord Brahma. So he prays to Krishna. In his first prayer to Krishna, after stealing the calves and the cowherd boys, he states, No midyate bravapushe tadid ambaraya. So this is in chapter 14, 10th canto, and it's the first of 40 different prayers by Lord Brahma to Krishna. So in the end of this verse, he says, Mridu pade pashupangajaya. He begins from the feet. This is the indication of a dasya bhav, a service mood. Mridu pade pashupangajaya indicates that the earth is so fortunate to receive the lotus feet of Krishna on her breast. She becomes overjoyed. Then after that, then Brahma prays, Tad buri bhagyam iha janma kim apyatavyam. That's the 34th verse of the 14th chapter. There, Brahma is saying that I desire to be a creeper, a herb or blade of grass, by which I can receive the foot dust of any of the Vrajavasis, the cows, the peacocks, the gopas, the gopis, anyone. Brahma is praying to become what? Huh?
The herb or...
Yeah, creeper, blade of grass. So he's praying similar to who?
Buddha.
Right. But is their prayer equal or the same? No. Because Brahma wants to take birth in any form in the Dham. He wants to take birth as a shrub, a tree, a blade of grass, a stone, even he's saying as a stone. But which stone? The stone that the sweepers of Vrindavan village, when they're finished with their daily sweeping and everything, there's a stone that they rub their feet on as water is poured, and the stone scrubs their feet, right? He wants to become that stone in this prayer. So, so Brahma is praying, I desire to be a creeper, herb, or blade of grass, by which I can receive the foot dust of any of the Vrajavasis, the cows, the peacocks, the gopas, the gopis, anyone. So the Veda mantras, the Shrutis, they are still searching for the foot dust of Krishna. All the Vedic mantras are still searching for the foot dust of Krishna, but they have not yet achieved it. It's a long time. So here also, Brahma mentions Nanda Baba. Nanda Baba has the mood of Vatsalya. Those who are in Dasya mood, they always serve Krishna's lotus feet. The Dasis always serve the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. Krishna also serves the lotus feet of his friends. So in Vatsalya Rasa, Srimati Yashoda always gives oil to the lotus feet of Krishna. Not by any maidservant. She gives herself oil to the lotus feet of Krishna. Sometimes she places Krishna's feet in her lap or on her shoulders. And Nanda Baba, when Uddhava was leaving to return to Mathura, then Nanda Baba stated, when Uddhava was leaving to return to Mathura, then Nanda Baba stated, Manaso Vritaya Nasyu Krishna Padam Bujashraya. Nanda is telling to Uddhava, you say that Krishna is God, then our mind should be fixed at his lotus feet, as Nanda telling. And why did he state this? He says, Padam Bujashraya, that I am taking shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. This is Nanda Baba. This is Maha Anuragavarta. That means Maha Anuragavarta means a great whirlpool of love coming from the heart of Nanda Baba. Avarta means like whirlpools in a river. So when Anurag is there in separation, then Sanchari Bhavs manifest like humility. That's when Sanchari Bhav, when Anurag is there, then great humility manifests. These are not the Sthai Bhavs. The Sanchari Bhavs come and they go quickly. The Sanchari Bhavs are like waves that rise and fall in the ocean of the Sthai Bhav. The Sthai Bhav means what? Yes, a permanent relationship, the rasa of the 5 rasas. So the Sanchari Bhavs are like waves that rise and fall in the ocean of the Sthai Bhav. A Sanchari Bhav comes in the heart of Nanda Baba, and he says in Maha Anurag, in this mood of Maha Anurag, he says, if Krishna is the Supreme Lord himself, then our consciousness should be affixed on his lotus feet. He tells this. He thus also speaks like this. So now we will discuss Uddhav Maharaj. He glorified the lotus feet of the Vraja-Devis in the following verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10:47-61. Asamaho charanarenu jashamaham syam vrindavane kimapi gulma lato shadhinam yadustyajam svajanamarya patam chahitva bejur mukunda padavim shutibir vimrigyam. He prayed, Aho, the Vraja-Devis have given up everything that is difficult to give up, such as family, children, and the path of chastity, and they have taken shelter of the path of loving devotion to Sri Krishna that is eternally searched for by the Vedic literature. My prayer is that in a future birth, I may take birth among the bushes, creepers, and herbs of Sri Vrindavan, that I may receive the dust of these gopis' lotus feet. Mukunda Padavim, in that verse, means the Vedas and the Shrutis are searching for the lotus feet of Krishna. Shrutibir Vimrigyam. Shrutibir means the Shrutis. Vimrigyam means searching. So the Shrutis are in the feminine gender here. So they are searching for Krishna's lotus feet in the mood of the gopis. The gopis are serving Krishna with his feet in their laps. But the Shrutis are searching for Krishna's lotus feet and will continue this search. So Uddhava is praying, I desire to take a particle of dust from the lotus feet of the gopis, the mool gopis. I desire therefore to be a blade of grass, so that when they go to meet Krishna at night, a speck of dust from their lotus feet will come on me, then my life will be successful. And just one more verse I'm reading. There's a little bit more to finish, but we won't finish it tonight. We'll do that tomorrow. But regarding lotus feet, Gurudev is quoting Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 62. That's the verse after the one that Uddhava spoke, how he wants to be a blade of grass, right? And he says there, Yavai Shriyarchitam Ajadibir Aptakamayar Yogeshwarair Apiyad Atmani Rasa Goshtyam Krishnasya Tad Bhagavata Charanara Vindam Nyastam Staneshu Vijahu Parirabhya Tapam. This means the lotus feet of Sri Krishna are served by Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, and they are worshipped in the heart by the masters of mystic yoga, headed by Lord Brahma. Yet, at the time of the Ras Leela, the gopis of Vraja, they relieved the burning of their hearts by directly holding those lotus feet to their breasts. So Brahma, Shankar, and all the demigods, they are searching for Narayan's lotus feet, and all the Lakshmis are serving the Lord's lotus feet. And Narayan is a manifestation of Krishna in Dwarka, and that Dwarkadish Krishna is a manifestation of the original Krishna in Vrajmandala. Krishnasya tad bhagavata charanara vindam. The gopis directly have the lotus feet of Krishna on their laps and on their breasts, and thus they give up all the pain of their separation. So Uddhava also speaks like this. He was not satisfied just by speaking this. He also stated, he proclaimed, Bande Nanda Vrajastrinam Padarenum Abhikshnasha Yasam Harikatod Gitam Punati Bhuvana Trayam. I again and again offer my respects to the dust from the feet of the cowherd women of Nanda Maharaj's Braja. When they loudly sing Sri Krishna's glories, the vibration purifies the three worlds. So Uddhava is saying, may one dust particle from the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika come upon my head. Then all of my desires will be fulfilled and my life will be successful. So we'll leave off there as a little bit for tomorrow. Gaur Premanandi, Shri Shri Vilapa-kusumanjali, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami Pada Ki Jai. So one last time, reading this 19th verse. Pratak sudam shumilitam ridam atra yatnad ahritya vasita payascha grihantarecha Padam buje batakada jaladadayate prakshalya bhavani kachair iha marjayami. O Bhavani, when at your house early in the morning will I carefully wash your 2 lotus feet with soft clay and camphor-scented water, and then dry them with my hair. Jai Shri Shri Vilapa-kusumanjali ki jai. Shri Raghunath Das Goswami Pada ki jai. Shri Rupa Goswami Pada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe, Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe, Jaya Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe, Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe, Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Gaura He 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 Nitai 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 Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvita Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ji Ki Jai Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhega Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Tomorrow we'll see what new adventure comes.